Good morning. Sorry about the delay. Had a bunch of town workers outside with leaf blowers and everything else, man. It was so loud, there was just no way I was going to go live. You guys wouldn't hear anything except that. I hope all is well with everyone. Vision Preparedness, Roddy Hood, Love and Life, Ohio Valley Prepping, Rob B, Brian Smith, good to see you. Let's see, who else is in the house? Southern Tier Prepper is here. Rebecca Lynn, good morning. Butterfly 31, KP Heathen in the house. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. William Kays, how are you? Hang on, I gotta pop up some more stuff here and get this on and cracking for everybody here this morning. Let's see, we'll do a refresh on this quick and start the day as always with marketwatch.com. Thank you, Dan H. Appreciate it. Tony Gotts, good to see you. Eric, good morning. North Georgia, Blue Ridge Prepping, good to see you. Juby Joe, good morning. The Dow Jones Industrial Average as of 10:52 a.m. EST. The Dow is down 642 points. The S&P is down 4 points. The NASDAQ is down 68 points. Gold is down $38. It is currently at $3,308.10 an ounce. Oil is up 99 cents a barrel. Not a whole lot of change there. Weather. I'll have to refresh this again. I pull all these things up early and let them sit here, and got to refresh everything when I get to it. Make sure we get the latest. Currently 51 degrees in Poughkeepsie, New York. It is actually 54 here at HVPAS headquarters. Sunny day today, high around 60. So we got that to look forward to. And into the news. Maybe. So this first article is from foxnews.com, and I thought it was fairly interesting because Trump addresses whether Jill Biden was Joe's auto pen that ran the White House. This is a pretty interesting article. It came out today from Fox News. President Donald Trump offered his take on former First Lady Jill Biden's role in the Biden administration during an exclusive on Fox Notales, so the Spanish version of Fox. Host Rachel Campos Duffy asked Trump whether he believed Jill Biden was former President Joe Biden's auto pen. No, I don't think so, Trump said, but he argued she was certainly involved because he gave her the last meeting to preside over the cabinet. Trump was referring to the former First Lady's controversial attendance at one of Biden's last cabinet meetings in September. The amount of alleged influence from the former First Lady had over Joe Biden during his administration had been a frequent source of controversy well before the September cabinet meeting. Trump attributed the influence to the former president to radical left lunatics rather than just Jill Biden. The Biden administration, had a lot of bad people, a lot of radical left lunatics in there, and I think he was perfect. He was perfect for them because he didn't have a clue, Trump said. Biden's health and cognitive function were concerns during his time in office, notably after his debate performance against the GOP presidential nominee Trump last summer. Let's see. In the months since Biden's departure from the White House, recently released books have offered insights into the former president's health and fitness for office. Meanwhile, Trump has flaunted his mental and physical fitness for office following his annual physical at Walter Reed National Medical Center on Friday. Trump said overall he feels he's in very good shape. The president told reporters aboard Air Force One while en route to his home in West Palm Beach on Friday evening that the yearly presidential physical showed he has a good heart, a good soul, and overall, I think I felt I was in very good shape. So he thinks a bunch of radical leftists were running the administration there. Trish in progress, good to see you. Niels, good morning. Hope all is well. And moving on, we have more news out of the Trump campaign. Trump blasts Fed Chair Powell, saying his termination cannot come fast enough. Interesting. Joy Calhoun, thank you so much. Cobra, what's good? President Donald Trump on Thursday ratcheted up his criticism against Federal Chair Reserve Jerome Powell, calling for his termination for not cutting interest rates quickly enough. His comments come one day after the central bank chief delivered a stark warning about the effect of Trump's sweeping tariffs on the economy. Early Thursday morning, Trump lashed out at the Fed leader in a social media post saying the U.S. central bank is lagging behind its European counterpart. European Central Bank later Thursday morning announced it's cutting interest rates for the 7th time in the past year. Jerome Powell to the Fed, who is always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was one and typical complete mess, Trump wrote. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Powell on Wednesday said the Trump administration has bought very fundamental policy changes, including his sweeping tariffs that are significantly larger than anticipated. He said such changes are unlike anything seen in modern history, putting the Fed in uncharted waters and on a path to confront a challenge it hasn't seen in decades: stagflation. But Powell's comments weren't unlike those of other federal officials in recent weeks. Most have said Trump's tariffs are likely to push up inflation and unemployment. Some billionaires, such as Ray Dalio, have taken criticism of Trump's tariffs a step further, saying the U.S. economy might be in or near a recession already. Powell was first appointed as Fed chair by Trump in 2018 and was later reappointed by President Joe Biden in 2021. His current term ends in May 2026. The Trump-Powell beef and Fed independence. Trump has on several occasions threatened to remove Powell from his post, and criticism of the Fed head stretches back as far as 2018 when Powell took the reins of the world's most powerful central bank. The Fed raised interest rates a handful of times that year over worries that historically tight job market could spur higher inflation. In 2019, Trump even called Powell the enemy. In March 2020, Trump told reporters that he had the right to remove Powell as chairman, and that he has so far made a lot of bad decisions, in my opinion, after markets tanked amid the pandemic. But he also praised Powell for cutting rates to zero to prevent an economic collapse. Most recently, Trump has said he won't reappoint Powell for a third term and that he would let him finish his term, especially if I thought he was doing the right thing, according to Bloomberg interview that they published in July. This article goes on forever, and I will spare you from all of the gory details of this, and I will drop it right here in the chat for everybody to check out for themselves. This next article comes from aljazeera.com, and it's not the original link to it. The original, I believe, is from The Explainer. But Al Jazeera reposted this article, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And I will drop it right here in the chat for y'all to check out. This article states, "Is there life on another planet? Scientists find the strongest evidence yet." Excuse me. Jay Creature, this is only 1080, my friend. It will not let me stream any higher than that. The camera's in 4K, but everything gets knocked down to 1080, and those pores are huge, right? Is there life on another planet? Scientists find the strongest evidence yet. Near a planet far, far away, astronomers have found traces of chemicals that on Earth are only produced by living beings. Astronomers have found the clearest evidence yet that life might exist beyond the solar system, from the atmosphere of a planet 124 light years away from Earth, setting off a rare excitement tinged with caution in the global scientific community. Using the James Webb Space Telescope, researchers led by astronomers at the University of Cambridge in the United Kingdom have found chemical signatures of two compounds that on Earth are only produced by living creatures. Excuse me. These are the first hints we are seeing of an alien world that is possibly inhabited. Niku, an astronomy professor at Cambridge and the lead research behind the discovery, told reporters at a media briefing on April 15th. This is a revolutionary moment. So where is the planet that might possibly host life? What evidence have scientists found, and is there reason for skepticism? The researchers relied on data captured by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, which was carried into outer space in 2022. It sits about 930,000 miles away from Earth as humanity's watchtower peering into the universe. They focus on one particular planet, K2-18b, because it had already shown promising signs as a candidate for an extraterrestrial body with conditions similar to those on Earth. K2-18b lies in the constellation called Leo and is so far away from Earth that a spaceship would need to travel for 124 years at the speed of light to get there. In reality, it would take much longer since the laws of physics don't allow anything other than light to travel that fast. The planet is 8.6 times heavier than Earth and 2.6 times larger. Critically, it sits in what is known as the Goldilocks zone of its sun and that region around the star where a planet's temperature could, in theory, support water in its liquid form on the surface. In 2023, Cambridge astronomers found methane and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of this planet. That was the first time carbon-based molecules had been discovered in the atmosphere of any planet in the habitable zone of its sun. The distance from a sun to where it's neither too hot nor too cold, and so possible for life to survive. Scientists said that the surface, covered first by an ocean and then by hydrogen-rich atmosphere, would explain the presence of carbon-based molecules. Simply put, it was possible that that planet could have water. This article goes into extreme depth, and I think you should check it out, personally, because I think it's kind of cool. And I will drop that here in the comment section for everybody. Donald H. Huth, good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. R. Williams, good morning. Teresa says, fold space like origami. Yeah, that'd be cool. If we could just fold it up and, get to the other side of the page real quick. That'd be really cool. Let's see here. What other articles did I have to bring to you guys today, and what order should I put them in? We'll go with this one next. This one is from NBCnews.com. There is a deadly E. coli outbreak ongoing. It's hit 15 states, but the FDA chooses not to publicize it. An E. coli outbreak linked to romaine lettuce rippled across 15 states in November, sickening dozens of people, including a 9-year-old boy in Indiana who nearly died of kidney failure. A 57-year-old Missouri woman who fell ill after attending a funeral lunch. One person died, but chances are you haven't heard about it. The FDA indicated in February that it had closed the investigation without publicly detailing what had happened or which companies were responsible for growing and producing the contaminated lettuce. According to an internal report obtained by NBC News, the FDA did not name the companies because no contaminated lettuce was left by the time of the investigators uncovered where the pathogen was coming from. There were no public communications related to this outbreak, the FDA said in a report, which noted that there had been a death but provided no details about it. Well, that's not very good. I do not like the fact that these things are happening and going on and nobody is telling us about it. That's pretty crummy, in my opinion. And it goes back to the old adage of if you can produce it yourself, you should. 100%. 100%. Let's see here. I got to do a little shuffle, shuffle. A little shuffle, shuffle. Move that back over there. Move that back over there. Move that over there. And we have 2 topics left to discuss here this morning. Good golly. Ronnie Braun, good to see you. Blessed Days, good morning. Who else popped in here? Niels Han Dynasty, good to see you. Some random dude in the house. Daryl Calhoun, what up? Loretta Hooch, good to see you, friend. Amy King, grow your own lettuce. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. If you can do it, do it. Trish in progress. Hello. Teresa Martin, good morning. Cobra in the house. Big Chase, good to see you. This article from AlJazeeraNews.com. I'm going to drop right here. R. Williams says the seeds are in the dirt. Congratulations, my friend. Nurture them. Nurture them. Might need antibiotics. Juby Joe, I'm a Jace Case subscriber. I love that company. They're fantastic. Stocks in the other room. People buy stocks. I buy Jace cases and freeze-dried food. It's fine, to each their own, right? This article states that Russia ramps up pressure on all fronts as Ukraine offers to buy U.S. Patriot missile systems. Fatal attacks have shaken several Ukrainian cities, prompting an offer from Kiev to pay for U.S. air defense systems. Ukraine has reported dozens of civilian deaths from Russian attacks over the past week, including 3 killed in a late-night assault on Wednesday in the southeastern city of Dnipro. Child was among the victims of a drone attack which came hours before high-stakes meetings in Paris due to take place later on Thursday, during which Secretary of State Marco Rubio and a special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, are to meet French President Emmanuel Macron and other European officials to discuss the conflict. Ukraine's defense and foreign ministers, as well as President Volodymyr Zelensky, chief of staff, are also in the French capital for talks with the U.S. and European Union delegations, though Kiev officials have not specified who it plans to meet. But as Moscow's self-imposed 30-day ceasefire on energy infrastructure approaches its close, talks to achieve a broader ceasefire so far have shown little signs of progress. Russia has stuck to its hardline position while accusing Kiev of violating the energy ceasefire, to which Kiev never agreed. This temporary memorandum has not been and is not being observed by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters on Tuesday. Russia said Ukrainian drones targeted an electricity substation and high-tension power lines in the Bryansk region that day, an electrical substation in the occupied part of Kherson in the Ukraine, and 2 low-pressure gas pipelines in Kursk. Moscow's forces claim to have shot down 7 UAVs near Shunga in the Ivanto region on Wednesday, 160 miles east of Moscow and 130 miles from the Ukrainian border, 310 miles from the Ukrainian border. In total, it said 26. Whoa, it's jumping all over the place. 26 drones were downed over several regions of Russia. This certainly does not sound like a ceasefire in any terms that I've ever heard. Demo Man Don, you got it, bro. The Ukrainians are going to use United States money and give it back to us for more of our equipment. Whatever. I often say that war is very contagious, especially locally, right? When folks see war, they're like, I can war better than you. And they want to flex their war muscles. So what I decided to do was dive into the old Wikipedia.com this morning to give you guys a little taste of just how many conflicts are ongoing currently and just how long they've been going on for, right? Because we're a little sheltered here in the U.S. We get spoon-fed all kinds of crap from the media, propaganda, whether it's left-wing propaganda, right-wing propaganda, propaganda gonna propaganda, right? So the criteria, the following list is an ongoing armed conflicts that are taking place around the world currently. Criteria, this list of ongoing conflicts identifies present-day conflicts and the death toll associated with each conflict. The criteria for inclusion are the following. Armed conflicts consist of the use of armed forces between two or more organized armed groups. Governmental or non-governmental, interstate, intrastate, and non-state armed conflicts are listed. This is not a list of countries by international homicide rate and criminal gang violence, and is generally not included unless there are also significant military or paramilitary involvement. So there is no gang violence or territorial disputes included in this. So the start of the conflict, the very first one, is in Asia, and it started in 1948, the Myanmar conflict. The cumulative fatalities, 200,000. In 2024, there were 20,000 fatalities. In 2025, 4,317. Then the next conflict you have is the Arab-Israeli conflict that has been going on since, well, 1948. Between Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Yemen. Cumulative fatalities, 258,000 to 267,000. In 2024, fatalities were at 30,000. In 2025, they're up over 5,600 already. Roaming Prepper, have a great day. In 2022, we have the insurgency in Africa. This, is it Africa? Yeah, Africa. Algeria, Benin, Burqa, Cameroon, Chad, Guyana, the Ivory Coast, Libya, Mali, Morocco, Niger, Nigeria, Togo, and Tanzania. 467,000 dead. 20,000 last year, 5,800 this year. The Sudanese conflict, which started in 2008 between Sudan and South Sudan, between 600,000 and 1.1 million dead since 2008, 16,000 last year, 7,100 this year. 2014 was the start of the Russia-Ukraine war. That's right, 2014. Most folks don't really know that. 172,000 to 350,000, with 77,000 dead last year, 24,000 already this year. In 2008, the Ethiopian civil conflict in Ethiopia, 500,000 to 610,000 dead over the toll, 10,000 last year, and 1,500 this year. Those are major wars that are ongoing with more than 10,000 or more combat-related deaths in current or previous years. There are 6 conflicts in the following criteria, and those are the ones that we just read. And then there's minor wars that are going on, right? 1964, the Colombian conflict started between Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. Over 457,000 dead since 1964. The Afghan-Pakistan conflict, which started in 1978, 380,000 to 2.8 million dead since 1978. The Somali Civil War started in 1991, 365,000 to 1 million people have perished. The conflicts in Nigeria started in 1998, over 104,000 dead. 2024, the Congolese conflicts with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, and the Central African Republic, 211,000 dead. 2006, the Mexican drug wars started, and 127,000 to 415,000 dead. In 2011, the Syrian civil war started between Syria, Israel, Lebanon, Iraq, and Turkey. 656,000 dead. Cameroonian civil war in 2012, 9,200 dead. The Yemen civil war since 2014 between Yemen, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Israel, 382,000 dead. And the Haitian crisis and the gang war in Haiti, over 10,000 people have perished. And there are numerous conflicts and skirmishes going on. And then it lists deaths by country. Who do you think is number one with fatalities related to armed conflicts? Right, we'll say 2024. Who's number one in 2024 for the most deaths by armed conflict? I'm going to let you guys go out on a limb and give a guess in the chat. And then I'll give you the top 10. Top 10. Ohio Valley says Russia. JS Genesis says Israel. Congo, Yemen. Russia, says Donald. So, fatalities related to armed conflict by country. In 2024, the number one was Ukraine, with 72,960 deaths. Number two, Palestine, 29,772. Number three is Myanmar, 19,771, followed by Sudan, 15,000, Ethiopia, 10,000, Niger with 9,000, Mexico came in at number 7, 8,200, Burkina Faso, 7,522 at number 8, Syria comes in at number 9, 6,847. And the last, number 10 on the list, is Somalia, 5,400. Yep. If you go back to 2020, the number one was Mexico. 2021 was Afghanistan. 2022 was Ethiopia. And then since 2023, Ukraine has held the title for most fatalities related to armed conflict by country. Let's see, who else? So Russia made the list at number 11 with 4,700. Other than that, Lebanon, Mali, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Haiti, Cameroon, Yemen, and Colombia at the bottom of the list. It's a pretty shitty list, but it's an honest list. I think that is the biggest takeaway for people, is that this kind of thing isn't going away. People become more emboldened, they become more angered, they become more vengeful, right? You killed my brother and now I'm gonna take down your whole country. That's the way some of these people think. So it's rough, man. It's rough. This is not going to slow down. It is not going to subside. It is up to you to prepare for you and your family. Your government is not coming to save you. I promise that. Everything that they're building is for them, their cohorts, their henchmen, their people. They will leave you in the streets to die, 100%. I want to thank y'all for joining me this morning. I really appreciate you being here. My apologies if I'm a little off. It'll get better, right? Thank you for all your support, all your thoughts, all your well wishes. I really, really appreciate it, more than you know. Thank you all so much. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival, out of here.